people standing around, oh, did you hear what he just said? And he going to continue to tell them something. Go ahead.
But ye say, whosoever shall say to his father or his mother, it is a gift, by whatsoever thou mightest be profited by me.
Go ahead, brother.
And honor not his father or his mother, he shall be free.
Go ahead.
Excuse me. Thus have ye made the commandments of God of none effect by your traditions, ye hypocrites.
Oh Lord, now you're going to call the elders hypocrites. Go ahead.
Well did Isaiah prophesy of you, saying...
Wait a minute. He said Isaiah prophesied to who?
Of you, saying...
The people who were standing before him. Well did he prophesy of you. And what did Isaiah prophesy to him?
This people draweth nigh unto me with their mouth, and honor me with their lips, but their hearts is far from me. But in vain do they worship me, teaching for doctrines the commandments of men.
Now, can we go find this in Isaiah to see what Matthew was bringing out? Let's see if Isaiah was talking about Caiaphas and the gang in this day. Hopefully we are...
They just fit the mold.
Understanding the view I'm trying to bring out here on understanding the New Testament writers. Isaiah 29, if you will, we're going to find this. Isaiah 29. Verses 1. We'll start at verse 1.
29 and 1.
Yeah.
Woe to Ariel, the city where David dwelt. Add ye year to year, let them kill sacrifices. Yet I will distress Ariel, and there shall be heaviness and sorrow, and it shall be unto me as Ariel.
Go ahead.
I will camp against thee round about, and I will lay siege against thee with a mount, and I will raise forts against thee.
Now, Isaiah was prophesying before who came? Nebuchadnezzar.
Right.
And the Babylonians. Let's skip down to verse 9. This is what he's saying, oh Ariel, where David dwelt. This is what he preaching to the house of Judah.
Stay yourselves and wonder, cry ye out, and cry. They are drunken, but not with wine. They stagger, but not with strong drink.
Go ahead.
For the Lord hath poured out upon you the spirit of deep sleep, and hath closed your eyes. The prophets and your rulers, the seers, hath he covered. And the vision of all is become unto you as the words in a book that is sealed, which men deliver to one that is learned, saying, read this, I pray thee. And he said, I cannot, for it is sealed. And the book is delivered to him that is not learned, saying, read this, I pray thee. And he said, I am not learned. Wherefore the Lord saith, as for much as this people draw near me with their mouths and with their lips do honor me, but have removed their heart far from me, and their fear toward me is taught by the precept of men.
Do you believe Isaiah was talking to anybody in his day when he gave this prophecy? And what else he say?
Verse 14. Therefore, behold, I will proceed to do a marvelous work among this people, even a marvelous work and a wonder. For the wisdom of their wise men shall perish, and understanding of their prudent men shall be hid.
Isaiah was prophesying about something that was to befall the inhabitants in that day. And their eyes were darkened. And that's why Nebuchadnezzar and all of his allies came up against Jerusalem like a storm and destroyed the place. So what was Matthew talking about? That the elders, the scribes, and the Pharisees coincided and did the same thing that the elders did in Israel that Isaiah prophesied about.
Right.
You understand what I'm trying to say? All these events we done read in Matthew, some being born. Not that they saying the whole chapter is making reference to, but they're bringing out what makes reference to what. Now let's go to one more to show you. If you have any questions, write it down. Is it clear? Is it pretty much?
It's clear pretty much.
Acts chapter 4. Look at this one. This one is interesting. Or should I say another interesting? Acts chapter 4, verse 25. We got one more after this, one more text.
who by the mouth of thy servant David has said.
Now this is Peter giving a breakdown and a teaching on the coming of the Messiah. But now he's going to say David said something. Read what verse was that again? That was 25.
25. Who by the mouth of thy servant David has said, why did the heathen rage and the people imagine a vain thing?
He said, who by the mouth of your servant David? David has said, why do the heathen rage and the people imagine a vain thing? Go ahead and read, brother.
The kings of the earth stood up, and the rulers were gathered together against the Lord and against his Christ. For of the truth against thy holy child Jesus, whom thou hast anointed, both Herod and Pontius Pilate with the Gentiles and the people of Israel were gathered together.
Look what he says. He said, look, who by the mouth of thy servant David has said, why do the heathen rage and the people imagine vain things? David further said, the kings of the earth stood up, and the rulers were gathered together against the Lord and against his Christ. And then Peter began to explain of a truth against thy holy child Yeshua, or Jesus. What happened?
Whom thou hast anointed.
Who stood up against him? Herod. He was a ruler.
Both Herod and Pontius Pilate
Were rulers. They were of the Gentiles. And who else?
and the people of Israel.
Now who were the rulers in Israel? The Sanhedrin. They were the rulers in Israel. Caiaphas. He was the head man. This was the government in Israel. And Peter said David prophesied to that, didn't he? You know where he quoted? Let's go to Psalms, the 2nd chapter. Psalms, 2nd chapter. Notice he's using this in the past tense. All of the ones we read, they were used in the past tense. Meaning they're looking at a situation that has developed, right? And they're saying the prophecy coincided or fulfilled it. We have never read so far where they use it in the future tense, have we? Even when he quoted David, he quoted it saying it had happened. Pontius Pilate came up against the Messiah and his Christ. What Christ mean? Anointed, don't it? Psalms 2. Psalms chapter 2, start at verse 1. Psalms 2 and verse 1.
Why do the heathen rage and the people imagine a vain thing?
Isn't that what he just finished quoting? Go ahead, brother.
The kings of the earth set themselves, and the rulers take counsel together against the Lord and against his anointed, saying, let us break their bands asunder and cast away their cords from us.
Let me ask a question. Was David the Christ?
No.
He wasn't? Was David a Christ?
Well, he was anointed.
Oh, anointed. He was anointed.
He was anointed, wasn't
Not
he?
Yeah.
the Christ, but he was a Christ.
Yeah, he was a Christ. You know the Hebrew over there. Was he a Christ? Was David at war all the time?
Yeah.
Against who? The kings of the earth, what?
Kings of the earth, right.
What did they want to do? Break the bands of David.
Cast them asunder.
And anyone else who come after David until they broke the bands. When Zedekiah and his crew fell. Do you understand what I'm trying to point out to you? The heathen, this applied even to David. When he went to war against the kings of the earth, he was the anointed. And every king who came after him was the anointed. Notice this. They said what? Verse 3 again?
Let us break their bands asunder and cast their cords from us.
Go ahead.
He that sitteth in the heavens shall laugh. The Lord shall have them in derision. Then shall he speak unto them in his wrath and vex them in his sore displeasure.
You know Peter didn't quote all that. Because they wasn't vexed in the sore displeasure yet, was they? After they killed the Messiah, they went on about their business until Titus came. But this did coincide, like Peter pointed out. This coincided with the anointed, which was the Messiah, and the kings of the earth, Pontius Pilate, the scribes and Pharisees with the heads of state in Israel, and Herod. They all was together in bringing down the Holy Son. But this prophecy in particular was spoken of again by John the Revelator, wasn't it? in Revelation 19, said he's seen the Creator wear many crowns, or the Messiah.
Yep.
And all of the kings of the earth gathered together to fight against him in that great battle. Will that apply again? It apply again. Why we're saying apply again? Because we're just looking at a prophecy foretold that it applies to. Peter's seen it in the past tense. Now people try to use the same reason to go with the abomination, desolation. But that's a whole nother animal. You understand? That is a whole nother animal. But if you don't look through with a fine-tooth comb, you get all the stuff confused. Anyone got any questions today? Write them down and we'll deal with the questions. This is the last one I wanted to deal with. Peter used Psalms 2 because it coincided with what took place with the Messiah. That's not to say that David was referring to Herod here. It's not to say that David here was referring to Pontius Pilate. But this did coincide with what Pontius Pilate did to the Messiah and his followers, don't it? So with that, brothers and sisters, we're going to end it here. Give it a chance. Stand up.
Look at the trees, how their leaves are blowing away in the sky. Listen to the birds, how they're singing away their time. Look at the sun.